think that's perfect. Just make sure you lean. That's it. That's perfect. Really good. Any good? Right. Right. This would be funny. Right.
Yeah.
Steve, what you caught?
Nothing.
Aren't you going to ask me what I've caught?
What have you caught, Ben?
Nothing.
No.
No. The reason I was going to talk to you, well, my mate, Simon, believe it or not, Simon Segru, he owns a couple of restaurants in Essex. And he actually rang me this morning. You're going to laugh at this, to say, mate, about talking to the boot, which is now holding the camera. He's actually playing it to his staff it's like motivational training to talk and open up and all that, which I started doing the boot thing to make the Pheonix Heroes laugh, which is a bit stupid, and then people near where I live thought I was actually going mad. They did.
Oh, right.
But my other mates that know me for years knew what it was about. It's basically ventriloquism, but then it became a therapist, and now it's a tripod. But no, I've been telling people about the Pheonix Heroes because I think basically Gary, who is the CEO, he's saying that the way we're going forward with my involvement is to be the champion or like the ambassador type, the champion of the buddy scheme, which is started a couple of years ago and it's been really successful. But Simon was asking me about Pheonix Heroes this morning, so I thought I'd ask you in basic, so in Essex more and like me going, what is Pheonix Heroes? Like, in your experience, what is it?
Well, they're a non-profit organisation who
you might have to talk up a little bit, but shout at me a bit.
They're a non-profit organisation.
The boat's got a hearing aid. So it's a non-profit organisation.
Yeah, that help veterans with PTSD and physical injuries.
Right.
So, you know.
Obviously, veterans being men that would have served, all of them would have served.
Yeah, served in the armed forces.
So are they all suffering from PTSD or have been, or is it?
Yeah, most. Some are recovering. There's varying degrees of it, as there is almost everything. But yeah, and for me, it's more the
Don't forget he's got a hearing aid.
Physical side of things. Due to the injuries I've sustained, I can't drive. So the buddy system kicks in where people like yourself
Nice and loud, yeah.
help us out by taking us fishing, which is a massive therapy for me. It really, really helps.
So going back to the fishing and the therapy, I mean, I know why it's therapeutic to me. Why is it, in your words, why is it therapeutic? And say it loud, because he's got his hearing aid turned down. You really need to be loud.
It just helps me relax, and basically I can be having a pretty shitty time of it, go fishing, and everything seems to sort itself out. You know, it seems to put things into perspective a little bit.
That's pretty much what I get with it. It just resets me. And sometimes if I go fishing, I could even be absolutely knackered because I've been up all night catching fish. Sometimes that happens. Honestly, I do catch fish, and but I go home knackered, but I still feel great. Like next couple of weeks, I'm all clear.
Yeah.
So the buddy scheme is basically literally veterans or people that are helping. Like in your case, because of your injuries, it stops you from driving, right?
Yeah.
So then, that's really good. So, which brings me on to the next thing. I don't know if you're comfortable about this, but I sort of said on the way down that well, obviously we started getting on really well.
Yeah.
I mean, you even burnt my breakfast a couple of times. That's a long story, but we just get on the phone and we don't stop talking, and that's him, not me. But I mean, I sort of said he was a Falklands veteran, and I've mentioned that your story is remarkable to say the least, but you talk it down like it's no big deal, I'm just one of the guys. But I just wondered if you might say the basic story out of your own, out of the horses, not that you're a horse, but...
Nay.
Well, ask his wife. No. So I don't know. Yeah. Do you mind?
No, not
because I think it might help. Just if people, Joe public, hear it. I mean, at the moment it's hard out there. There's not much money about. And people, we're having a hard time, but I don't think some of them might know what a hard time is. And you don't look on it as a hard time, do you?
No.
I mean, I call him lucky.
Yeah, well, I am, yeah.
Nearly swore, didn't you? You are lucky.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, I mean, you'll have to talk up. His hearing aid's getting really bad. So come on, Steve. You don't. I mean, say as little or as much as you want, but I know it's based around Goose Green, right?
Yeah. Well, I was shot in the head during the battle for Darwin and Goose
Nice
Green.
and slow and loud.
And the result of the injuries is I was partially sighted, but going back to the injuries, I was.
We'll have to. It's not going to be loud enough. So, sorry, Steve. So we go back to Goose Green.
Yeah.
So you
I was shot in the head during the battle for Darwin and Goose Green. Was isolated for about 4 hours before the guys could get to us.
4 hours.
Yeah, around about that.
Why was you isolated?
Basically, where I was shot, the guys were able to get back into the gorse gully, but unfortunately I wasn't. So they couldn't then get back out to me because it was basically in the killing zone. So as soon as they tried coming out, rounds were coming in and stuff.
So you were, well, in layman's terms, I mean, I was like 7. So you were laying there with your head shot.
Yeah.
And couldn't move.
No.
But they couldn't come back to you.
Couldn't get to us, no.
Right.
And then after, when the guys started to take control of the battle and things like that, and were able to push forward and get to us, that's when I was got to and received the medical help. Although to start with, the guys really didn't give us much of a chance to survive. But I basically took my helmet off and literally parts of my brain fell down the back of my neck.
That's what we've spoken about. And so you literally, a man looked at you and said, "There's no chance, really." You would have looked at you and gone, "I've got no chance." If you could see.
Yeah. Well, the sort of hole in the skull was about the size of a clenched fist. So
Jesus,
it was quite.
So the head is just messed up.
Yeah.
So how did they? What happened then? You didn't just put a plaster on it, did you?
Well, apparently there wasn't much they could do, to be fair. So I was left till last on the Casevac list because there were guys that could be treated more effectively, if you like, because they basically didn't think I had a chance.
Yeah, I suppose you've got to use the medical help where it's best.
Yeah, definitely. There was guys' lives they could save, and it was a case of prioritising the injury list. There was no neurosurgeon in Ajax Bay at the time, so even when I got to the hospital at Ajax Bay, they cleaned us up, but there was no neurosurgeon who could go in and sort of remove the fragments of bone that were sticking in my brain at the time. So
it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's not ridiculous. It's just how come you're sitting here now? I mean, it's like
lucky.
You are
just
lucky.
lucky, yeah.
So yeah, in short, it was completely shot through the head and pretty much left for dead because he pretty much should have been dead, but no, he's here today and loves fishing.
Yeah, I mean, I was totally blind for a little while, and then regained a little bit of sight. And then when I had the operation to take the fragments of bone out of my brain and things like that, I got the sight, the limited sight I've got now, but it's clear. Whereas before it was all blurred and everything. So, yeah.
Unbelievable. So, I mean, what would be your message to I mean, not that you've got a message, but I mean, there's you, just happy every day, aren't you?
Yeah, try to be, yeah.
Because why wouldn't you be? Because I suppose if you've got a roof over your head.
Yeah, and there's, I always look at it as there's always someone worse off.
Yeah.
And that's the thing,
In fact, you are lucky, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're in a good situation. Because looking back, 90% of that situation, you shouldn't really be here, should you? That was,
No.
I don't know nothing was in anyone's favour at Goose Green. So, I mean, you pretty much sort of won the lottery in a kind of a way that. So yeah, well, that's basically yeah.
The one thing that was in our favour was it was so cold. That's why I'm here today. If it had been hot, I don't think I'd be here. I'd have bled out.
The blood would have gone out. Yeah.
Whereas obviously where it was so cold, everything slowed down, almost like putting someone in a coma.
You were lucky the medics didn't get to you and jabbed you right up with the Morphex, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story about that. My mate, just true story as well. In Afghan, and they was all under dots in the shit, as if behind a wall. I think it was about 15 of them, and it just kind of coming in. They was all just having a bit of a panic, didn't know what to do. No one had made a decision yet. Just all hunkered down, and someone had received an injury and basically blown his buttocks off. It wasn't going to kill him, but it was in agony, and he's up jumping about. And my mate got to him with a morphine strap, which is something you carry here, and you got dangerous end basically that you stick in the person, and the other end, and that calms the it's morphine, and 2 or 3 of them can kill him, can't it?
Yeah.
So my mate went up and quickly got to him because the medic wasn't there, and went wallop like that in the top of the leg, and then sort of then started walking about, and then he just remembered getting screamed at, and someone pulled him down and said, "Get on the fucking floor," and pulled him over, because what he'd done is gone to help his mate and had it up the wrong way and jabbed it in his finger. He morphetted himself. So now he's walking around with the fairies and seeing there's all bullets going everywhere, and he don't care. His poor mate with no bum is rolling around on the floor going, "Ah!" No, that's it. Yeah. Well, thanks for that, Steve. I'm glad. I sort of thought you wouldn't mind sharing that, and I'm hoping that people listen to that and go, "Do you know what? I'm not actually having such a hard time." Which you're not either, are you?
No.